8. Travelling Bums. The next morning, Alice awoke early. A thin dusting of snow had fallen overnight, and the air had a freezing feeling to it. After a very quick breakfast, the Applebys made their way out to the back garden, forming a queue next to the old wooden table where the gifts from Auntie Kimberly and 10 vials of Kirkham's Bum Blaster No. 2 sat. Alice had used her eyedropper to make sure each vial had the same amount. She used every last drop of Bum Blaster No. 2, so their trip had better be worth it. Dad and Grandad stood at the front doing final equipment checks. Every strap had to be checked and double-checked. There was little room for any mistakes. It was freezing cold for Boxing Day, and everyone had on their gloves, coats and scarves. Alice wore her pink and red scarf and sparkling wellies. Grandad and Dad both had on their big winter coats, and as for Grandma, she had on 3 extra layers of jumpers. Mum appeared wearing what looked like a hoodie, 2 coats and 3 scarves, with another in her hands. "Alice, you're not wearing nearly enough warm clothes," she said, proceeding to put one of the scarves over Alice's head. "But Mum," said Alice in protest. "You never can be too warm on a winter's day like today," said her mum, ignoring Alice's protests. "Right, I think we're ready," said Dad, excitedly, standing up on the table so everyone could see him. "Now, everyone, I know this is the first time we've ever tried this as a group, but it's been so long since we went on holiday, and Auntie Kimberly seemed certain it would work, so I think we should all just give it a go. Before we proceed, does anyone have any questions?" Grandma's hand shot up. "Yes, Grandma," said Dad.
"How do you know where we're going?"
"Great question. Grandad has a map. So what we'll do is let him go first, then we'll all follow." All eyes turned to Grandad, who smiled and waved a map in his hand.
"But what if we get separated?"
asked Mum. "Another great question. To stop ourselves from getting separated, we'll tie ourselves together with a piece of rope. That way, we'll all stick together, and no one will get lost."
"But won't the rope get in the way when we need to land?"
asked Grandma. "When we fly over our destination, we'll simply let go of the rope, then we can set off our parachutes and land safely. Now, does everyone know how to set off their parachute?" Alice's hand shot up. "Yes, Alice," said Dad. All eyes turned to Alice.
"You pull the special cord,"
said Alice with a smile. "That's right. Well done," said Dad. "Now, does anyone else have any questions?" Everyone looked at each other for a moment. "Great. Let's prepare for takeoff," said Dad excitedly. First, the parachutes went on. Then Grandad did a safety check on everyone to ensure the parachutes were fastened correctly. "Now remember, when we get up in the sky, I'll tie a special knot in this piece of rope that will tie us all together. When we're above our destination, pull this piece here and it will unravel and free you from the rope," said Dad to Alice. After a few minutes, everyone had their equipment on and had been safety checked by Grandad. It was time to take Kirkham's Bum Blaster No. 2. Grandma handed out the little vials, 2 for each of them, 1 for the journey to Paris and 1 for the return journey home.
"Keep the second one safe, otherwise you'll be stuck in France," said Grandma, handing 2 vials to Alice. A cold gust of wind sent a shiver across the group. Standing in line, everyone took their first vial and removed the cork stopper. Alice could have sworn the mixture fizzed and changed colour a little when her cork was removed. Dad turned to look at everyone. "We'll take it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. The liquid hit the back of Alice's throat, fizzing and whizzing its way down into her stomach. It felt like drinking pure excitement, and the taste was wonderful, like caramel and fresh lemon cheesecake, but with a zing. The excitement in Alice's stomach didn't stay there for long. It started a warm, rumbling feeling, like 1,000 wild horses wanting to escape. Her body began to move, like it was doing a funny dance. For a moment, she wondered what she had just done, but it was too late. She couldn't undo it now. Looking over at Grandma, Mum, Grandad and Dad, she saw they were all doing a funny dance too. Grandma's face had turned bright red. Then the ticking sound started. "Oh no," she said. A flame leapt from her bum and sent her up into the air. Pop, pop, whoosh! The smell was foul, like rotten, pickled eggs. "Phew," said Alice, holding her nose. Grandad was next, with his red face and his bum firing. Then, in a flash, Mum's bottom exploded behind her, sending her flying into the sky. Only Dad and Alice were left to go. Like twin rockets, they held hands and farted in unison, soaring high, hot on the heels of the other Applebys.